This Transformers 96 here with another Marvel Legends ranking video. This time I'm going to be ranking the figures from the Guardians of the Galaxy series and the Titus Build-A-Figure wave from my least favorite to my favorite. I did buy the full wave to build Titus, so I did not buy Star-Lord. Star-Lord will not be included in this video simply because he's going to come out in the 2-pack with Ego, and I plan to buy that, and the Star-Lord in this wave doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece, so I have no reason to buy that one, which is therefore the reason that I won't be including him in this countdown. I only purchase, and I'm only going to be ranking the figures that you need to buy to build Titus, which is the 6 out of the 7 figures of the wave. So let's get started. This was a wave, just to say something before I start. This was a wave that I really was not looking forward to. There was maybe 1 or 2 figures in the wave that I actually wanted, and then the rest of this wave, including the Build-A-Figure, I could care less about. For the longest time, this was like my least anticipated wave of Marvel Legends, maybe since I started collecting them, to be quite honest. However, actually getting them all, I kind of like them. I don't know what. I don't know if I just got used to the idea of these characters or if the figures actually impressed me, but I did start to come around for them. And yeah, so I have a bit of an interesting experience with this wave in general, as well as I'd like to say that these are just my personal opinions, so take it with a grain of salt, as well as I will not be including Titus in any of this. These are just going to be the figures of the wave and how I enjoyed them, and I'm not going to be taking into account the Build-A-Figure. So let's get started. And in last place we have Vance Astro. This was a figure that I wasn't looking forward to, and getting it didn't change my mind. It, I believe, just reuses a basic body mold. However, the thighs and the biceps look a little bit different to me. So if this is some sort of different sculpt, I'd be very surprised because there's no reason for it. But it is possible. But nonetheless, it is still a very basic sculpt. And then you just have paint on it. There's no detail of any kind that's actually sculpted. It's all painted, and it's just simple. It's a simple paint job. I like the blue. However, the white is just so plain that it just takes away from the really nice shade of blue that they use. So I really don't enjoy that whatsoever. His face is rather plain, and then he comes with a super plain Captain America shield. I would hope that they change that up, or at least the way that you attach it onto the figure, in years to come, because those things are just so boring. Super boring figure, could care less about it, and definitely deserving that last place, in my opinion. At 5th place, we have Darkhawk. Darkhawk is a nice figure. I do like the paint in it. It's very subtly painted. They kind of, from a distance, it would look like he just has like a dark blue paint job. However, it's kind of like this black with this kind of pearlescent, sparkly kind of blue, washed into it, which is a neat shade. I think that was a neat idea to do. The wings are okay. I think that they could have come up with a better way to design them, but they're still okay. And, all in all, it's a decent figure. Just personally, I didn't have a whole lot of fun with it. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a big fan of the character design for Darkhawk. I was never a fan of the 3¾ version, and this one didn't really excite me either. So, although I do recognize it's a pretty decent figure, for me personally, didn't have a ton of fun with it. 4th place goes to Drax. This was a figure that actually did impress me, because although it's mainly a repaint, it's a repaint of, the same character. This is obviously just a repaint of the Drax that came out in the first Guardians of the Galaxy wave, obviously having his new outfit color scheme, having a slightly different shade for his skin texture, and then having a completely new head. I think that this was, this is the way to do an update. A lot of times Hasbro will just kind of release the same figure to some degree and maybe just change up something small. However, with this one, they did a really nice job, because the body and the pants do not need resculpts. It's a good mold to begin with, and his look hasn't changed other than the color, so I understand why they just repainted it. It makes sense from a logical standpoint, but then they added things to make it different, such as the bazooka weapon, which is a great, really nice, really, feels very sturdy as well. That was something that they didn't need to include, especially since he already comes with a few weapons with his knives. So I think that was excellent. And then giving us a new head sculpt with expression. I'm a big fan of expression on figures, so I did definitely gravitate towards this head sculpt. I think it was a great way to update a figure. In third place, we have Kid Nova. This was a figure that I did like quite a bit. I'm liking these new kind of teenage body sculpts that they're using. I think they're quite nice. That they have a nice movement to them, and their articulation is very good. But I was also particularly surprised with this guy, considering he has new forearms as well as a new torso. I thought that some of that detail was just going to be painted, so I was quite surprised to see that it was sculpted and therefore a completely new piece. So that was quite nice. And I also do like the fact that he really pairs really well with the Build-A-Figure of this wave. You know, he is the funnest one I found to pose with the Build-A-Figure, and the two of them are the ones that I had the most fun posing for pictures and things like that. So I did like this figure quite a bit. Alright, in second place we have Yondu. Now, the first and second place figures are very interchangeable in my mind. I've come close to putting Yondu at number 1, however, I did decide to put him at number 2. He's an excellent figure. The entire thing is a completely new mold, which is awesome. He's a big movie character. I'm a big fan of the movie characters. And then he comes with an accessory that shows his power really nicely and in a unique way, which I think is awesome. And I absolutely adore the fact that he comes with 2 head sculpts, both with expression, which I definitely like quite a bit, and then they each have his hairstyle from the first and then the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. This is a perfect figure. I really do love it, but I did decide to put it at number 2 simply because there's not a whole lot of poses you can put him in, and that has nothing to do with the figure. It just has to do with the character. The character, when he fights, you know, really all he does to fight is whistle, so there's not much that you can do as far as poses go, especially with his relaxed hands. You know, he doesn't have very aggressive hands or anything like that, so not much you can do with him as far as posing, but as far as the figure's execution, it's perfect. I really can't see a better thing that they could have done, so I was tempted to put him at number 1, but because there's not a whole lot that you can do with him pose-wise, I did put him at number 2. Still an excellent figure, though. And the number 1 spot has to go to Angela. Like I said, again, I was considering putting her at number 2, but she did take the lead as my favorite figure of the series because it's just a really nicely executed figure. It uses new legs, new arms, a new upper torso, so just about the entire thing is new, which is great. I love the hair sculpt. The hair sculpt is probably my favorite hair sculpt of any Marvel Legends figure ever. I adore it. As well as you get a slew of accessories, you know, 2 axes and a sword, and then the belt with the whole ensemble there, and then her necklace piece. There's so much movement in this figure that's a ton of fun just to look at because there's just so much happening even if she's just standing. So when you add a pose onto that, it just becomes even more spectacular. Definitely my favorite figure of the wave. However, Yondu was great, but Angela, I would say, is the slightly better victor there. Alright, so there was my countdown of my least favorite, 2 favorite Marvel Legends figures in the Titus Build-A-Figure wave. Let me know what you guys think of my thoughts, and let me know your own thoughts. I'd definitely love to hear it. And this was an interesting wave for me. Like I said, was not looking forward to this wave like in the slightest, and I ended up enjoying it. It certainly isn't like one of my favorite waves of the last couple of years. However, I liked it when I really didn't think I was going to enjoy it at all. I think that the fact that I got all of these figures at some sort of discount really did help me enjoy this wave a bit, knowing that I didn't pay full price, but still, these figures impressed me, I would have to say, and I, you know, got used to the characters in the wave as time went on as well. So, again, let me know what you guys think of my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours. Thanks so much for watching.